Hey Switch fans, welcome back to SwitchTop. Today we're diving into the best JRPGs you can play on your Switch in 2025. If you love great stories, deep combat systems, and adventures that'll keep you busy for dozens of hours, this list is for you. Let's count down the top 20 JRPGs that deserve your time right now. Trials of Mana brings the classic action RPG to modern consoles with gorgeous 3D graphics while keeping the heart of what made the original special. You pick 3 characters from 6 unique heroes at the start, and your choices actually change parts of the story you experience. The combat happens in real time. You dodge, jump, and attack with button combos instead of picking moves from menus. As you level up, you can choose different class paths for each character, turning your fighter into either a heavily armored knight or a nimble swordmaster. The world is bright and colorful, filled with different kingdoms, each dealing with their own problems tied to the fading power of the mana tree. With multiple character combinations to try and different class paths to explore, you can easily replay this adventure several times. Final Fantasy XII. The Zodiac Age drops you into the world of Ivalice, a place where airships rule the skies and political conflicts are brewing. You follow Vaughn, a street kid who gets caught up in a rebellion against an evil empire. What makes this game stand out is its battle system. Instead of random encounters, you see enemies on the field and can avoid them if you want. The Gambit system lets you program your party members to act automatically in battle, almost like writing simple code. If allies' HP is below 50%, use a potion. You can also choose from 12 different job classes like Black Mage or Archer for each character. The Zodiac Age version adds a fast forward button, super helpful for grinding, better graphics, and a remastered soundtrack. The story feels like Star Wars meets Game of Thrones, with politics, betrayals, and sky pirates keeping things interesting throughout. Tactics Ogre. Reborn is a strategy RPG where every choice matters, both on and off the battlefield. The story follows Dunan, a young man caught in a brutal civil war where 3 factions fight for control. What's cool is that you make moral choices that change how the story unfolds, with multiple endings based on your decisions. Battles happen on isometric grids where positioning is key. Attacking enemies from behind deals more damage, and pushing units off high ground can be instantly fatal. Each class has unique abilities, and you'll build an army from knights, archers, mages, and special monster units. The Reborn version adds voice acting, updated graphics, and quality of life improvements like the chariot system that lets you rewind several turns if you make a mistake. The game's deep customization lets you craft your perfect team, while its mature storytelling tackles themes of war, racism, and the true meaning of justice. The LUNAR Remastered Collection brings 2 classic PS1 era JRPGs to the Switch: LUNAR Silver Star Story and LUNAR Eternal Blue. Both games follow likable heroes in a world where the adventures of the legendary Dragon Master Dine are still talked about. The battle system is turn-based, but with positioning elements, where your character's stand matters and enemies will try to surround you. What really shines here is the charming characters and genuinely funny dialogue that feels natural, not forced. The remasters preserve the gorgeous anime cutscenes from the originals while adding quality of life features like autosave and fast travel options. The soundtrack remains one of the best in JRPG history, now with remastered audio that sounds great on modern systems. These games come from an era when RPGs weren't trying to be dark and edgy. They're optimistic adventures about friendship and courage that'll leave you smiling even when dealing with world-threatening dangers.
La 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 la.
Monster Hunter Rise might not look like a traditional JRPG at first glance, but it has all the depth, progression, and Japanese RPG elements fans love. You play as a hunter in Komura Village, a place styled after feudal Japan that's facing the threat of the Rampage. Hordes of frenzied monsters attacking the village. The gameplay loop is addictive. Hunt monsters, use their parts to craft better weapons and armor, then hunt bigger monsters. Combat feels weighty and strategic, with 14 different weapon types that all play completely differently. The new wirebug mechanic lets you zip around environments and perform special silkbind attacks that add another layer to combat. Your Palamute dog companion can be ridden like a mount, making exploration faster and more fun. The game sprinkles in RPG elements with meals that boost stats, decorations that add skills, and a progression system that gradually introduces bigger and badder monsters without overwhelming new players.
Get after it! Oh, no, you don't!
Super Mario RPG brings Nintendo's classic SNES RPG back with a gorgeous remake that keeps everything that made the original special. Mario teams up with unlikely allies including Bowser and a cloud named Mallow to repair a star road and defeat the evil Smithy Gang. The battle system is simple to understand but fun to master. It's turn-based, but timed button presses during attacks and defenses can power up your moves or reduce damage. The remake adds beautiful 3D graphics while keeping the charm of the original diorama-like world. Exploration is filled with platforming elements, hidden treasures, and funny NPCs that remind you this is still very much a Mario game at heart. The writing is surprisingly hilarious, with Bowser's reluctant alliance with Mario creating some of the funniest moments in any Nintendo game. With its short but sweet 15 to 20 hour adventure, colorful world, and accessible combat, this is the perfect entry point for anyone new to JRPGs. Pokémon Legends. Arceus takes the series in a bold new direction by sending you back in time to the Hisui region when people were still afraid of Pokémon. Your job is to build the region's very first Pokédex by catching and studying wild Pokémon. Unlike traditional Pokémon games, you can catch Pokémon without battling by sneaking up and throwing Pokéballs in real time. When you do battle, the system uses a turn order approach based on speed stats and move styles that can be fast but weak or slow but powerful. The open zone design lets you explore large areas filled with Pokémon that react realistically. Some will flee when they see you, others might attack if you get too close. Alpha Pokémon with glowing red eyes roam the landscape as mini-bosses, while noble Pokémon serve as the main boss encounters that require you to calm them with bombs before battling. The crafting system lets you make Pokeballs and items on the go, making this feel like Pokémon meets survival games in the best way possible. Unicorn Overlord combines the best parts of Fire Emblem and Ogre battle into something fresh and exciting. You play as Elaine, the rightful heir to the Cornea throne, building a liberation army to take back your kingdom. The overworld map plays like a board game where you move your armies around, liberate towns, and find treasures. Battles are a unique mix of auto and manual combat. You set up formations of up to 5 units, each with their own strengths and weaknesses, then watch them execute your strategy in real time with limited opportunities to trigger special moves. Between battles, you'll recruit over 60 unique characters, build relationships between them to unlock powerful combo attacks, and manage your growing kingdom. The path you take to liberate the 5 nations is up to you, creating different challenges depending on your choices. The gorgeous 2D sprites combined with the satisfying chess master feeling of watching your carefully planned strategies unfold makes this one of the most addictive strategy RPGs around.
I shall protect you. Does this suit you?
Ready yourself!
You'll see no harm.
Triangle Strategy tells a mature political story where your choices actually matter. You control Serenoa Wolfort, a young lord caught between 3 nations fighting over limited salt and iron resources. What sets this game apart is the voting system. At key moments, your companions vote on major decisions, and you must convince them to side with your choice through dialogue and the information you've gathered. Battles take place on varied 3D maps with height advantages, elemental interactions, and positioning tactics being crucial to victory. Characters have fixed classes, but grow more powerful as they use abilities, encouraging you to stick with favorites rather than constantly switching. The gorgeous HD 2D art style mixes pixel characters with modern lighting and effects, creating a world that feels both nostalgic and fresh. With multiple endings based on your choices, new game plus features that let you see different story routes, and battles that reward thoughtful strategy over grinding levels, this is a thinking person's RPG that respects your intelligence.
守ります。
これはいい。
回復します。仕留めます。
Suikoden 1 and 2 HD Remaster brings 2 of the greatest JRPGs ever made to modern consoles with beautiful updates that don't change what made the originals special. Both games follow young heroes caught in political wars who end up building armies and recruiting 108 unique characters called the Stars of Destiny. What makes Suikoden stand out is how your army actually changes the world. As you recruit more characters, your headquarters grows from an abandoned fort into a thriving community with shops, mini-games, and even its own battle arena. Combat uses a unique 6-character party system with formation strategies and powerful team-up attacks. Army battles switch to strategic large-scale warfare where you command units against enemy forces. The remasters add autosave features, a conversation log, double-speed battle options, and gorgeous new effects while keeping the beautiful sprite art intact. The interconnected story between both games creates an epic tale where choices in the first game can affect the second, with some of gaming's most emotional moments hidden behind seemingly small decisions. Ni No Kuni II follows Evan, a young king who gets kicked out of his castle during a coup and has to build a new kingdom from scratch. The combat happens in real time. You run around the battlefield freely, attack with light and heavy strikes, and use powerful special moves when your meter fills up. The cool part is, you're also helped by little spirits called Higgledies, who cast spells and give you buffs during fights. Outside of battles, you'll build up your kingdom by recruiting citizens with different skills, constructing buildings that give you benefits, and managing resources. There's also a really fun strategic battle mode where you command troops like a mini RTS game. The whole game looks like you're playing inside a Studio Ghibli movie with bright colors and charming character designs. The story hits on themes of leadership and bringing people together, all wrapped up in an adventure that never takes itself too seriously.
Here goes nothing.
Let's keep moving.
Paper Mario. The 1000-Year Door brings back the GameCube classic with updated graphics while keeping everything fans loved about the original. Mario explores the shady port town of Rougeport searching for treasure and Princess Peach, who's gone missing again. The battle system is turn-based but keeps you involved with timed button presses that boost your attacks and defenses. What really stands out is how battles take place on a literal stage with an audience watching. Nail your moves and they'll cheer, giving you more power, or they might even throw items to help or hinder you. As you progress, Mario gains abilities to fold into a paper airplane, roll into a tube, or turn sideways to slip through cracks. Each chapter feels like its own little story with unique settings like a fighting tournament, a spooky train, and a tropical island. The writing is genuinely funny with characters that break the fourth wall and poke fun at Mario tropes. Shin Megami Tensei 5 Vengeance drops you into a destroyed Tokyo merged with the demon realm where gods and demons battle for control. You play as a high school student who fuses with a mysterious being, becoming a Nahobino with the power to fight and recruit demons. The combat is all about finding enemy weaknesses. Hit them with the right element and you'll get extra turns, but enemies can do the same to you. The demon negotiation system lets you talk to monsters and convince them to join your team through conversation choices that might require bribes, threats, or jokes depending on their personality. The Vengeance version adds a whole new story route, more areas to explore, and quality of life improvements. You'll spend your time exploring open areas filled with demons, finding resources, and solving light environmental puzzles. The game doesn't hold your hand with its challenging difficulty, and choices you make affect which of the multiple endings you'll see. Fire Emblem. Three Houses mixes tactical battles with life at a military academy where you're a professor teaching future leaders. You'll pick one of 3 houses to teach, each with different students who have unique personalities and abilities. The game splits between calendar-based school sections where you train students, build relationships, and explore the monastery, and tactical battles where permadeath means fallen units stay dead if you play on classic mode. Combat happens on grid-based maps with different unit types like knights, archers, and mages, with a rock, paper, scissors weapon system creating strategic depth. What's cool is how flexible character development is. Any student can potentially become any class with the right training. The story tackles themes of war, class divides, and uncovering dark secrets about the church and the world's history.
I must stay focused. What should I do? Had to be done.
Nier Automata takes place in a distant future where aliens have used machines to drive humans to the moon, and you play as combat androids 2B and 9S fighting to reclaim Earth. The gameplay seamlessly shifts between different styles. Sometimes it's a fast-paced action game with dodges and combos. Then suddenly it becomes a twin-stick shooter or a two-dimensional platformer. The combat system lets you equip different weapon combinations and plug in chips that customize everything from health regeneration to the HUD itself. What makes this game truly unique is how the story unfolds across multiple playthroughs. Each time you finish the game, you unlock new perspectives and story content that completely changes your understanding of events. The Switch version runs surprisingly well and includes all DLC content. The philosophical story asks deep questions about consciousness, purpose, and what it means to be alive, all while keeping the action intense and satisfying throughout its many endings. Xenoblade Chronicles 3 tells the story of Noah and Mio, soldiers from opposing nations who are only supposed to live for 10 years before being released in a ceremony. When they discover the truth about their world, they join forces with friends from both sides. The real-time combat system has auto attacks happening while you position characters and trigger arts, special moves when they cool down. The class system lets characters learn jobs from each other, meaning anyone can potentially fill any role given enough time. The coolest feature is the Ouroboros system, where 2 characters can fuse together into a powerful form with its own unique moveset. The massive open areas are filled with monsters of all sizes, from tiny creatures to building-sized beasts that will destroy you if encountered too early. The story digs into themes of life, death, and finding purpose in a predetermined existence, all supported by an emotional soundtrack that hits all the right notes during key moments. Xenoblade Chronicles X. Definitive Edition brings the Wii U gem to Switch with improved graphics and quality of life features. The story follows survivors of Earth who crash land on the planet Mira after Earth is destroyed in an alien crossfire. The massive open world is divided into 5 continents, each with completely different environments from glowing forests to active volcanoes. The combat works like other Xenoblade games with positioning and arts, but with a bigger focus on ranged weapons and gear customization. What really sets it apart is the scale system. Giant mechs you can pilot after about 30 hours that transform the gameplay by letting you drive, fly, and battle in customizable robots. The Definitive Edition adds quality of life features like better navigation markers and streamlined side quests. The game focuses more on exploration than story, rewarding players who venture off the beaten path with breathtaking vistas, powerful gear, and hidden quests, creating a true sense of discovery as you map out the entire planet.
Upper hands. Get fired up. Get control of the battle.
Dragon Quest XI. S follows a young man who discovers he's the reincarnation of a legendary hero destined to save the world from darkness. The turn-based combat sticks to traditional JRPG roots, but adds enough tactical options to stay interesting, like the pep system where characters enter powered-up states after taking or dealing damage, enabling special team-up moves. Character development uses skill panels where you spend points to unlock new abilities, letting you customize how each party member plays. The S version adds tons of content, including a 16-bit mode that lets you play the entire game in classic 2D style, Japanese voice acting, and an orchestra-performed soundtrack. The story might seem simple at first with its classic chosen hero setup, but takes surprising turns halfway through that genuinely change how you see the earlier events. With town-building elements, a crafting system, horse racing, casino games, and tons of side quests, there's always something to do in this colorful world that perfectly balances traditional JRPG elements with modern conveniences. Octopath Traveler 1 and 2 combines both games in the series, each featuring 8 different characters with their own stories that eventually intertwine. Each character has a unique path action they can use in towns. Hunters can capture monsters, merchants can buy rare items from NPCs, thieves can steal, and so on. The turn-based battle system uses a boost mechanic where you can save up points to multiply the effectiveness of attacks or skills, creating strategic choices about when to go all out versus when to play it safe. Breaking enemy shields by hitting their weaknesses creates openings for massive damage. The gorgeous HD 2D art style mixes pixel sprites with modern lighting effects and 3D environments, creating a look that feels both nostalgic and cutting edge. The sequel improves on the original with more story connections between characters, day-night cycles that change path actions, and traversal options like sailing and climbing. With 16 total character stories to experience and countless side adventures across 2 full games, this collection offers hundreds of hours of classic JRPG goodness.
My turn now. Electric star! Here's our foes!
My turn.
Persona 5. Royal puts you in the shoes of a high school student who discovers the ability to enter the metaverse, a world created by people's distorted desires. You and your friends form the Phantom Thieves, using your Persona powers to change the hearts of corrupt adults by stealing the treasure from their cognitive palaces. The gameplay brilliantly balances 2 parts: dungeon crawling with turn-based combat, where hitting enemy weaknesses gives you extra turns, and daily life simulation where you attend school, build relationships, relationships and improve your social stats. Every day matters as you decide how to spend your limited time, with different activities available depending on the day of the week, weather, and story progress. Relationships aren't just for story. Closer bonds with teammates unlock powerful abilities in battle. The Royal version adds a new semester, new characters, new areas to explore, and numerous quality of life improvements. With its incredible style, catchy jazz soundtrack, and a story that tackles serious subjects like abuse and exploitation, Persona 5 Royal delivers a 100+ hour experience that never feels like it's wasting your time.
Persona! Go down!
And there you have it, the top 20 JRPGs you can play on your Switch right now. From classic turn-based battles to action-packed combat, there's something here for every type of RPG fan. Which one are you planning to play first? Let me know in the comments. And if I missed your favorite JRPG, tell me what should have made the list. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more Switch content every week. This is SwitchTop, and I'll see you in the next video.